I'm Keith.
And I'm Gail. We have 2 archways in our house that have developed very bad cracks, and we didn't know what to do with them. So we decided we'd call in John Worthington.
If there's a problem with your home, you can't fix it on your own, then call us on the phone. We're making house calls. You've got a bit of a problem with your shower recess.
I certainly have, and I believe you're the man that'll fix it for me.
Let's go and have a look.
Please do.
From the fences, roofs or floors, to ceilings, walls and doors, we'll help you out because we're making house calls.
Solid concrete base, and on the outside of it is sinking down, and so it's tipped it over.
We're making house calls.
Good morning, John.
Good day, Keith. Hi, Gail. Gee,
Hello,
Gail,
John.
The house is looking beautiful. It really is.
Thank you.
I got out as quick as I could. What's the problem?
Well, the problems are those cracks.
Oh, yeah. How long have they been there?
They started 2 or 3 years after I built in 1979. About 2 years later they started to appear, and they seem to come and go, and every repair you make doesn't seem to answer the problem.
A lot of times this sort of problem starts under the house with the footings, but I checked them and they're okay. So I called in my plasterer mate, Amadio, to open up the wall. We can see now why this is cracking. You can see how the bricks are bonded. For example, that perpen there is over the centre of this brick. The same through here, but around here what they've done is just put these bats in, and we've got a straight join through 3 courses of brickwork. Now that's a weak point. That's why we bond the bricks in a stretcher bond like this here. Have a look down here. That one there should have been the keystone which holds it all together. It's got no mortar in it. They've somehow managed to get it in there, and it's just not really working well. The brickie hasn't cut his bricks properly. In fact, she's a bit of a rough job through here, but I think we can get it fixed if we put the chicken wire over it. Yeah, it should hold it, because that will bond it all together and it should act like a beam. Problem is, being just a single skin wall, we've got to make sure that we don't knock the other side out.
Off, yes.
It's nice watching someone else do the messy work.
Flat, shiny surfaces.
That's right. That's right.
Another interesting point here is that Keith and Gail suspect a recent earth tremor may have contributed to their falling arches. So David Brown, who also happens to be an engineer, has been in to look at the problem.
How do you go about making a claim for cracks if you believe it's been an earthquake damage?
Well, if you have any reason to suspect it's earthquake damage, by all means just put the claim in, and then the insurance company will usually send their adjuster out to have a look, and they may even pay for an engineer to come out and make the assessment. There's no comment on you if it goes one way or the other. If you have a genuine reason for thinking you've got a claim, I'd ring the company and put a claim in.
What excess would I have to pay?
Well, in the excess you usually pay on any policy is usually between $0 and $100. However, most insurance policies have an extra excess on earthquake claims, and it's usually around several $100s. And in fact, your policy is $500, which is fairly typical. So given Wortho can fix this for about $400, it wouldn't be worthwhile putting in a claim on this particular case, even if it was earthquake damage.
Now, after a coat of plaster, the arch is starting to look a bit better. Well, leave it for a while, probably a day or two, then sand it down. Have you got a good painter that can do this?
Gail does an excellent job.
I'm the painter.
You're the painter?
I'm the painter.
Whenever I start, I get told to go and do something else. So.
Yeah. Well, you'll get some practice at sanding.
That's right, I'll do that.
It really looks good, John. We're through. We're really glad we called you in.
Even though the drought has brought with it water restrictions in many areas, there's still a way you can keep your garden and lawn alive. Meet Michael. Hi. He's a licensed plumber, and he's going to install for me a new Australian invention called the Salty Valve. It costs about $60, and it's a very clever way of recycling laundry water. You switch it off during the wash cycle because you don't want water mixed with detergent. That'll kill your lawn fast. Then you switch it on during the rinse cycle, and the cleaner water is diverted to your sprinkler. Now, some local water authorities and councils don't like you to use this kind of water, so check with them first before you buy a salty valve. And it's also not a good idea to store the diverted water because it becomes smelly quickly. Happy sprinkling!
If you're just about to put in a new driveway or renovate the old one, make sure you get council to check the formwork and give you proof that they've done it. They have very strict controls over the level of the driveway. If you put it in incorrectly, they might even make you take it up.
Hi, I'm Bill McClellan.
And I'm Cheryl. We've had a problem with our brick fence for quite a few years now, so we finally decided to call in Wortho.
We're making house calls. We're making house calls.
Next on the list today is a call to see June Hoskins.
Hello, John. How are you?
Very well, thanks. You've got a bit of a problem with your shower
I
recess.
certainly have, and I believe you're the man that'll fix it for me.
Let's go and have a look.
Please do.
Where is it, round here?
It's around here, yes.
Oh, there's the culprit.
That's it.
Well, the first thing I think I'll do is just have a look at the tiles here and see whether they're loose. No, they seem to be fairly solid. See, they went from fixing tiles with sand and cement, and that was pretty good, but then someone invented this adhesive. You just squirted it on the back of the tile and stuck it on the wall. The problem was that the adhesive had rubber in it, and the rubber perished, and subsequently the tiles popped off the wall. Yeah, but they seem to be pretty good. Oh, hang on. These joints you can see.
The grouting has come away for a few places.
Certainly, yeah. So what I'll do is get the moisture meter out and I can check the wall and just see how damp it is.
Okay.
So we'll just have a look at this. Right, get in there and turn it on. Now we'll put it out here. You can see. It's all right there. There you go. See how that... And you can see there's a little bit of bubbling paint here. Right through there. Yeah, it's down a line there. Go down here. Yeah, there it is there. No.
It starts there.
Yeah, so it's down through here. So it quite probably is these joints because it's not going through the tiles. So normally in a situation like this, they'd come in and say, oh, well, you need to take all the tiles off the wall and then put in a shower tray.
That's what I was frightened you'd say.
There's probably a shower tray in here, but because the tiles are fairly big tiles, the water's getting in between the joints there and running through the wall. It doesn't seem to have done any damage from the outside, and really that's all we need to worry about. What I'll do is remove all this old grout and re-grout it for you, and then come back and show you a new product that is just on the market, and I think will do the job here.
And what does that do in effect, John?
What it does is it seals the grout, and it costs about, I think it's about $50 for a little can of the stuff, but that's a lot cheaper than paying...
Than ripping it all to pieces. That's excellent.
Because with shower recesses, when you take these tiles out, you may not be able to reuse them, then you've got a problem with matching them. Yeah, and sometimes the tiles are bigger and the shower screen doesn't fit, so you've got to put in a new shower screen.
From scratch.
All you need is a small screwdriver like this one. Look, you can see where this grout is coming out here. In fact, in some places it's virtually non-existent. So we just need to get all the loose stuff out around here, and also if there's any old silicone beading around the edge, you can get that out. That's been put in there, but it really wasn't doing much of a job. Now for the new grout. Now, June, I'm using this squeegee. Tilers normally don't use this, but just for the person around the home, it's pretty easy. You can sort of get the grout and work it into the joints and get a nice smooth finish, because that's what it's all about. Right, well there it is. Now all you need to do is leave that for about 24 hours, and we'll come back and put this new product in the tile area, and we might have a look at the floor too, because I think that's probably a bit slippery when it's wet.
It is actually, it is quite treacherous, so that I'd appreciate you looking at that. That'd be great.
All right, well I'll just go on.
And I can't clean it or touch it in that time.
Don't touch it for 24 hours, leave it, and we'll be back. I'll just go and wash these outside.
Okay, thanks John, appreciate that very much indeed.
You know,
Kids get into everything, don't they? Kathy Brown is having trouble with her curious 4-year-old. as Cecilia found out when she called around.
But this is the problem cupboard. Catherine can actually climb up here with chairs and get into the medicine cabinet.
Well, Kathy, you're not the only parent with this concern. The Poisons Information Centre receives more than 250,000 phone calls each year. And nearly half of those concern children who swallow tablets thinking that they're lollies. I mean, these look like peppermints.
Yeah, I suppose they do. Don't realise the danger.
That's right. Also in this cupboard, you've got a whole lot of chemicals. I mean, this is even a drinking bottle and goodness knows what's in it. There's glues, paint strippers, and they're all very dangerous. Actually, household products and pesticides account for another 20% of poisonings. So what you need to do firstly is to dispose of all old medicines and any chemicals and household products that you don't use.
Well, how do I do that safely? If I put the tablets in the bin, Catherine can get into that too.
Well, yes, you shouldn't do that. And also don't pour them down the sink because they may corrode your piping, and also it's not good for our beaches. So the local councils have regular free collections. Give them a buzz and they'll tell you when they are available. And they pop out to your home and dispose of old medicines, chemicals, any poisons. It's really a very good service.
We really do need a lock. This cupboard here is at Catherine's height and she can get at everything in there very easily.
Well, this is probably the most dangerous cupboard. And I'm sure you don't want to have a permanent child safety lock on this cupboard because your kitchen is new.
That's the thing, I don't want to drill holes in it.
And that's why I brought this. This is a plastic, well, they just call it a new plastic tie, and you get these from the hardware stores. They're about $9. Just simply clip it in like this. See, that's quite strong.
Yes, it is strong. And how does it open? Is it easy to open?
To open it, just pop down that, there, open it like that. So
it's fairly simple to open.
Really, they're very good. When you think about it, $9 and this could save a child's life.
Mum, can you help me?
If you've got an outside tap and you're sick of the neighbours' kids turning it on and off when you don't want them to, you should get one of these. They'll cost about $25 and you'll need to get the plumber to install them. When you've finished using it, simply take the handle out and put it in a safe place.
Bill and Cheryl McClellan suspect roots from a nearby tree might be pushing their fence over.
Okay, Dave, well, what do you reckon is causing this problem I've got here with this fence?
Well, there's a couple of indications that it's not the tree root. If a large tree root was coming out there and growing, it'd be pushing your fence up and bending it, and you'd be getting more cracks in the top, and they'd be wider in the top. Here, you don't have any indication of that. How long's it been doing, the leaning?
The leaning over, about 5 years, but slowly, just gradually.
Right, yes.
So it didn't happen overnight.
If you look down there, it looks, another indication is that it's dropped. If it was a tree root, it'd be pushing up. Here it looks like settlement, and what's happened is your post there is resting on the solid concrete base, and on the outside of it is sinking down, and so it's tipped it over.
Well, the important question for us, Dave, is can we make a claim on our insurance policy to cover our fence?
No, unfortunately you can't. I've had a look at your policy and it's typical in this area. It would cover sudden impacts, say if the tree fell over in a storm, but it won't cover this damage which has been gradual over a period of time.
Well, what do you reckon, Dave? Do you think we should knock this fence over as soon as possible?
I would do it immediately for a number of reasons. One is that people could trip on the bracing that's there, or some young kid may come along, be a bit mischievous and kick it out, and the thing could fall on top of him. We can't leave the bricks lying on a public footpath, so the first step is to bring in a skip. Look, Bill, it's your place. You have the fun, mate. Knock her out. You're gonna... Well, Cheryl, you now have a brick footpath. It's worth looking at here and the foundation. You can see from here that the foundation is very thin and not very wide, as it turns out. So really you only had the brick fence sitting on that without really being anchored into the ground in any way. So there's a fair amount of work to do. Then there's a question of how to keep the rest of the wall from falling over. Is there an expert handy?
Yes, John. G'day, John. How are you, mate?
Hi, John.
Hello.
It's a lovely footpath you've got out here, Bill.
Good to see you, mate.
So, what have we got to do, mate?
Well, what I'd probably do is get a brickie in, build this wall along here and return it. What that does is hold the corner. Now, if you bring it in line with the path there, you could probably put a gate in there if you wanted to, but you need to get that return on the wall to hold this one. It probably won't go. I mean, if it was going to go, it would have gone by now, but don't take any risks. Get a brickie in and get him to build this. So are you not going to stand around and watch it?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
We're fine.
Quite happy.
We're fine.
You just carry on, John.
Cheryl and I agree. We prefer our workmen to be better dressed.
All right, Johnny, thanks very much for all your help, mate.
Thanks, Bill. Now, where's the beer?
Inside, mate.
Good. We're making house calls. We're making house calls.
Most people use about 300 litres of water when they wash the car, and that's a lot of water down the drain, particularly in times of drought. Wouldn't it be good if you could do it without using it? Well, a couple of companies say that you can. Here's one of them, Dry Wash and Guard. Apparently all you do is spray it on and the chemicals loosen the dirt, then absorb the dirt up, and all you've got to do is wipe it off and then use a separate rag to polish it. It's pretty easy to do, although there are a couple of problems. I noticed a couple of days later some overspray of white specks, and I certainly wouldn't use it on heavy dirt or mud. But nonetheless, it gave a pretty good result and a pretty easy way to wash your car without yourself getting wet and without wasting precious water.
Wortho, I thought I'd find you here. I'm a bit worried about answering the door when I'm at home by myself in the flat, so I bought a peephole. Would you help me install it?
Well, better still, I'll show you how you can do it.
Oh, good.
But first of all, a few questions. Have you checked with the body corporate?
I have, and they said it's okay.
Right. Now, how tall is the building?
4 stories?
And how old is it?
About 5 years.
About 5 years. Let's go and have a look.
Okay.
I think we can put the hole about there. Now, in many of the older doors, they had a central core of asbestos, so it gave it a fire rating. But because this is a new door, we don't have to worry about it, so we can just drill straight through. You make a...
Okay, just about there.
Yeah. Okay, that gives you something to put the drill bit in.
Okay, the right size drill bit.
Yeah, that's a 13mm bit, and
Okay,
you're
nice
off.
and even.
As well as watching out for asbestos dust in older doors, if the units are higher than 3 floors, they'll have special fire-resistant doors which shouldn't be drilled.
Okay, that's done.
Okay, well, let's get going.
Okay, so this is very easy, isn't it? Does it affect the security of your door?
No, it certainly doesn't, but it works even better if you've got one of those sensor lights at the front door.
Oh, look, wide angle. That's great.
A great idea. I think the eyes have it. By now, June's bathroom tiles should be ready to waterproof. Well, there it is, just as we left it. Pretty simple to do this.
Yeah.
What happens is that you paint it over the entire surface and...
I'll hold that for you.
Yeah. Okay. Starting from the top and working down. Now this is just like water in consistency. I'll get the brush in there and it's just painted on.
As easy as that?
Yeah, as easy as that. It's clear. You keep it away from the glass and painted surfaces. You paint from the top down and be sure to get it in the joins here. When you've finished, they supply a little cloth and you just wipe it over.
And what, in effect, is the cloth for? What's the idea of wiping it over?
It just removes all the brush marks and gets all the residue off.
I see.
And the whole lot is then basically sealed up.
So it's just a waterproof membrane?
That's right, and leave it about 12 to 18 hours before you use the shower.
I know this bathroom's a particularly big and well-ventilated room, but perhaps if you had a smaller bathroom, would the fumes of this be a problem? Should you wear a mask or something?
Yes, it's a volatile fluid, so it's a good idea to wear something. But as you say, this is well ventilated, so we don't have to worry too much in here. Well, that just about finishes me. I'll put the top on that, and I'll leave you with some of this stuff. The shower recess was a bit slippery, you told me. We'll put some of that on using the brush with the same technique.
And that will stop slipping?
Should do it.
Fantastic.
Okay,
That's
there you are.
fantastic.
I've given June some tile grip, which she can brush onto the floor tiles when they're dry.
Well, I can't thank you enough for all the work you've done for me. That's really marvellous.
Well, let us know how it goes. If there's any more problems, we'll pop back.
You'll hear from me, but I'm sure it'll go well. Thanks so much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye, John. Bye.
Well, that's the end of another hard day's work. Next week, we're going to call and see Paul and Bronwyn McDermott, who've got a problem with their floor. And for you do-it-yourselfers, I'll show you how simple it can be to turn old timber planks into a great-looking workbench. Now, if you'd like us to pop in and see you, or you'd like information on anything you've seen in our program tonight, give us a ring during the week. See you.
Good night, John.
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 If there's a problem with your home, you can't fix it on your own, then call us on the phone. We're making house calls. From fences, roofs or floors, to ceilings, walls and doors, we'll help you out because we're making house calls. We're making house calls.